at 8:55 session of the 2015 Open Simulator Community Conference. As a reminder to our in-world and web audience, you can view the full conference schedule at conference.opensimulator.org. We also are using every social media possible, not really, but mostly. So definitely if you guys want to tweet about it, share pictures on Pinterest, Facebook, our hashtag is hashtag OSCC15 or OSCC. This hour, we are happy to introduce a panel of speakers from two universities that are going to tell us how they are using the Internet of Things to create virtual learning spaces. Our panel includes Cynthia Caloyne, a professor and author from the Colorado Technical University, and Dr. Andrew Stricker, a distributed learning architect at the Air University. And our first speaker up is Professor Caloyne. Welcome.
Hey, thanks, Meg. Hello, everyone. I hope you all can hear me. I'll be looking at the chat, so if you can't, let me know. Boy, we're excited to be here today. Oh, and of course, I've got to pull up my slides, right? I tell you, what we're going to talk about is the Air University Squadron Officer College Metaverse, and it's running in the Amazon cloud. In particular, I don't know if you guys know this, but Andy and I were high school chums and college chums who missed each other for 29 years, and he invited me to join the project in, 2008. And ever since, we've been conducting research together and designing all kinds of technologies. Andy, I'm going to turn it over to you and pull up the content. So unmute and over to you, Andy.
Okay, thank you. Well, it's certainly an honor to be able to come here and share the work that we're involved with the Air Force. And we have quite a few exciting opportunities to share about what we're doing with the OpenSim community and the capabilities that's offered. Do we have our slides up yet, or do you want me to load them?
No, I got them, Andy. I had so much juggling, but they're on display now. Thanks.
Okay, I don't see them, so let me go ahead and put my okay.
Yeah, I don't see them either, but we'll go ahead and talk about the project. And by the way, I have some links for you guys. We've posted a copy of the slides both in the presentation. And by the way, I do have them loaded. I don't know why they're not appearing yet, but
okay.
Here we go.
Come.
I think they're coming up right now. Anyway,
Okay.
Here's some links, and Andy, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. As I was saying, we've put together several grids for supporting our schools with the Air Force. We're located at what we call the Air University. It was a place where the Wright brothers actually had one of their training schools, and we built a large university there to support all of the education of our Air Force personnel. Now, what we have on display here is the layout of the grids. We're getting ready in January to introduce the OpenSim capabilities to our in-resident students that come into Squadron Officer College. This involves about 900 students, and then ultimately it will reach out to over 3,000 students. We've also have put efforts into play to link up our physical classrooms with the virtual spaces through various devices that we'll share here in a minute. Cynthia, next please. The part of what we're attempting to put into play for our classroom instructors is the opportunity for them to use the Echo device to control various parts of how they provide feedback to students. We have basically activities that the students go out into a leadership problem-solving part of the university, and they work in teams to solve problems. And we've taken many of their activities and we've virtualized them and linked them to the physical activities. So we wanted a way for instructors to give feedback as part of their scoring process with their leadership activities. So we've put together a way to put our code into the Amazon Lambda service, and from there they speak into an Echo device, and that stores the instructor's feedback to the teams, and then it gets put into play with an app interface that we have for the learning simulation that they're using. So we're fairly excited about this capability because it gives us a way to link the physical and the virtual spaces together. Now what you see here is something else that we've been excited about, and that is where we put the Raspberry Pi, the second generation Raspberry Pi 2 into play, so that we can package our learning sims on the microcards, and we can basically plug and play within the physical classroom space the various learning sims that they'll be able to run as in group work activities within the classrooms. And so this gives us a really interesting way to link a lot of capability in basically a $30 computer. So we're very excited about that, and it gives us a lot of portability too to move around across our college. We want to be able to also have the means to basically use the Pi as a LAN system, so that when we're not online, we can also run our sims offline. So it sort of operates like a sim on a stick, but has for us greater capabilities to store data and manipulate that information back to the environment in which it's being used. And what you see here is a description of how all this works together. So what we've done is we've put our Amazon cloud capabilities into play with the storage using the Dynamo database on the cloud. And as I mentioned earlier, we've got our code running on Lambda, and we basically use an API gateway. We've got things running through a Dream Factory instance on the cloud that processes the API calls, and we also use the Amazon Web Services login applications for how we authenticate our students and instructors. So, for example, in the classroom space, the instructors can use the Echo device to give verbal commands to add players to the leadership game sim, and then they can, as the students are engaged in the sim, this instructor then can give info associated with the observations that they're making for the rubric that they use for providing feedback to the students after they complete the learning sim. And this information then is retrievable during the feedback session by the instructor. That comes displayed into an app that works on Android and Apple devices. And then we have the means to do similar things, not only through the Echo, but also through the Raspberry Pi, so that we can have the capability to go in offline. And so we can call up information that's been stored on the Raspberry Pi and display that back up through our classroom display capabilities for feedback that could be useful to us when we're not interacting through the cloud services. So this, for us, gives us a way to really do some interesting features, provide interesting features through the Internet of Things that we can support, more of a seamless connection between our physical classroom spaces and the virtual capabilities that we love with OpenSim. And just as many of you know, we've have been working with BulletSim, and the other day when several of you came out to our Metaverse and saw some of the applications of what we're doing with some of the flying objects that you had a chance to interact with, we find BulletSim to be very powerful. But on the Raspberry Pi, what we've done is taken the advice of sconfig, and we've used the XNA framework to get it up and running on Raspberry Pi, and this has worked really good. So we are hopeful as the development of OpenSim continues that we can have options for how we employ the various physics engines across these devices. So, but here's just a little bit of what we have put into play here. We run a Linux flavored Debian, of course, with the Raspberry. That's what Raspberry is actually, is a Debian flavor of Linux that runs on the card.
Hey, Andy, Tanya was
Yep.
asking about
Yep.
whether we're running a full OpenSim on the Pi.
Yes, we are.
And by a full OpenSim, you mean the grid, many regions? Don't we have embedded video, a radio station, things like that?
Yes, we do. And what's really interesting about the new capability of the Raspberry Pi 2 is it has a lot of horsepower behind it. And so one of the things that we do is we support a package of what we call micro sims, and these are simulations that we've targeted specifically for a learning content area that can be put into play through the interchange of the micro SD cards. So that gives instructors a lot of flexibility to focus in exactly on what they want to use the immersive environment for a particular lesson. The application side of this, of course, as I mentioned, is for us very important that our students have interactive, engaging, and meaningful experiences. So much what we do with our Squadron Officer College program is experiential-based learning. So for the types of students that come out into this environment, they want to do things as a way to learn, and so we have almost everything that they come into the OpenSim environment is very, very interactive. So we've created multiple grids, and each squadron, we have 6 squadrons of over 100 students each. They have their own grid, and we use the Universal Campus as their starting place, and they love it, by the way. So thanks to all the folks that helped get the Universal Campus into play and for it to be shared. We give them a Universal Campus to get going, and they shape it, and they come in, and each class that starts up and shapes their own Universal Campus and make it very dynamic, and they personalize it. And then we share the learning sims that can for their grids. And they, using the hypergrid capability, we support the shared events and activities. So there could be multiple squadrons that have in-world activities that they want to participate together with. And we love that capability that they can actually go across and visit each other's grids and do so. We had the chance, by the way, to share all this recently with the Secretary of the Air Force and the Chief of Staff of the Air Force, And I can tell you, the highest levels of the Air Force, they're very excited about the capabilities that are in play now with these immersive 3D learning environments. Cynthia, you might want to go ahead and share now how people can visit and participate with us in discussing these kinds of things that we're working on.
Is how big data and the Internet of Things create smarter learning environments. And our first session is going to look at using the Internet of Things to connect those smart learning devices from home, work, or school. Now, each of these will last about an hour, but I think I scheduled them for 75 minutes just to allow everyone to hypergrid in. The region's going to remain open to the public. So we gave a tour the other day, and thank you for everyone who attended. We had a fantastic time. And here's the region address for you. And I know there's a little delay on the audio, so it'll be there in just a moment, or it's already there. But yeah, and then the rest of the sessions are going to look at some of the other kinds of feedback and analytics that we're working with, okay? So if you have topics that interest you, you could come to these sessions and treat them not as a passive event where you come and listen, but as a participatory event, right? And the reason is, I'm going to flip to the next slide because I know we're running low on time. We are also publishing a book. We are co-editing and co-authoring a book, and we would like to invite the community to share with us and to participate as authors if you would like to submit a proposal. So think of everything we're doing as this integrated effort where we're testing out all these technologies, we're archiving and curating these experiences, but we're also thinking about the importance of the person, the selfhood, the identity. Why is it that these spaces matter so much to you? Why is it that you find this compelling? Maybe you're not an educator or a researcher, but you have some powerful thoughts, and we want to invite you to participate. Now you'll notice our topics. And by the way, I have all this stuff. Let's see. I have links for you on my SlideShare. And let me, I'll get that to you in a moment. But anyway, some of the topics include the coupling of utilitarianism with learning spaces, right? The claim on human conviviality. In other words, how do these experiences make you feel? And how do you transform that into how you learn? Maybe it's not formal learning, maybe it's not a university, but the way you learn design or how the power of creation transforms you, makes you a very powerful individual, right? We want to capture this and let the world know why these spaces matter and why everyone's efforts are important. So we want to encourage you. The call for proposals ends December 30th. I do have a document online. I'm going to get you the link for that. My SlideShare, by the way, is at slideshare.net/LearLobo. But here is the link. That's for the documents version. And then, of course, we have these slides also online at my presentations. Okay? So there's two documents there under that documents link. The first one is, of course, the call for proposals. So please grab it or take a look. You can always download my content, and we invite you to participate with us. Andy, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Cynthia. I'm just so very honored to be part of this conference and to share what the Air Force is doing. And I just wanted to share also that the collaborative efforts across the OpenSim community has made all the difference for us in the Air Force to leverage and employ this exciting, immersive way of learning. So thanks to everyone for the wonderful capabilities that you've offered.
Now, we had some questions, but we took them during the session. We have 5 minutes. You can tell Andy and I speak together a lot. We did an Ignite session at IEDSEC that was only 5 minutes long with 20 slides. And we're both holding the same microphone, so it felt a little like a dance with 15 seconds per slide. But we wanted to let you know that what you guys have done here, each one of you, not just the folks speaking, not just the dev team, and not just the organizers here and the volunteers, but everyone in the community makes us stronger and more powerful. The work on hypergrid business, and keeping us informed of the statistics and the power of the news, we're really, it's a fascinating time to be alive. On a closing note, you may wonder, why am I collaborating with Andy? Well, we do a lot of different kinds of research, but we have quite a few games at our region. So if you're interested in games or game designs, we have multiplayer as well as single-player games for you to explore. We also look at signature character strengths. And, for those who can't hear, I'm so sorry. But in any event, let's see, I'm checking the thing to see if there's any questions for us. Please realize all of our content is available online, and I'm going to turn it over to the moderator now.
All right. Well, thank you, both of you, for that wonderful presentation. And I want to remind everybody we are going into a break. Feel free at that time to tweet, to use Facebook, to Google+, to check out the pictures we're taking on Pinterest and add to them, all under OSCC 15 or OSCC. Our next, at 9:30, we will start SUNY graduate program, Designing Worlds for Professional Uses will be our talk, and you're going to want to definitely come back and hear that. So we're going to take a break here for about 30 minutes so everybody can, check with their families, their work, whatever, and take a break, and we'll be right back. So we'll see you in 30.